So, guys, me and Larson are back. And this Monday, I had to go on a little trip, but we both had a pretty good week. I went 9-3, including a parlay that we had. Um, I mean, it was incredible because it was just the most disgusting thing we've ever created. It was Missouri, Kansas State, Louisville, UCF, like all these just ratty games, and we came out on top. Man, Kansas State's for real. They've been good to us this year.
Yeah, I love the Wildcats. I was looking at it again this week too. They're good. They're legit and possibly should be 8-0, really. So they've been good to us. I'm gonna keep riding them.
Yeah, me too.
A
I'm not.
parlay born out of the fire, just born out of nothing last week at the
Yeah, me
very end of
and
the
Chase
show.
just chopping it up. Yeah. Um, I'll just go through quickly what I have. We don't have to talk about every game. Miami, Virginia under 48. That one got a little sweaty with overtime. Illinois -7, Louisville +5, Kansas State -1. We already talked about UCF, and then I had Michigan -20.5. My biggest miss was probably Kentucky +14. They got absolutely boat raced. But other than that, yeah, it was a good week.
Yeah, Louisville was good. Thank you to Wake for turning it over 6 times in one quarter, which was just unbelievable.
Insane.
Unbelievable. So that was nice. I'm looking to fade Louisville again, like I said last week, to turn around and fade the Cardinals at home. That's what I'm looking to do.
Yep.
Trying to think of what else. It was really just Kansas State, Louisville, and UCF, the big ones. Texas
Yep.
A&M was lucky. I was lucky to get out with a push on that one. And
I
then,
hedged out. I put
yeah,
like $1,000 on Ole Miss money line because I actually bought back on Ole Miss when they were down early, and I got them +5.5. So I actually did come out a
see,
little extra on that as well.
that is smart. That is nice. Yeah, Texas A&M, that might be it for them with me. I'll say it about this week. I don't know how you could bet them this week and feel comfortable. Just
Who do they have this week?
disgusting. Florida.
Oh yeah, I've barely gotten to look at the slate because I've been all over the place, but I do have a couple games that I have picked.
All right, let's get into it and see what
We
you
should
like.
we should start by doing our civic duty. We have an autoplay on the board every time. I want to get the number in front of me, but as you know, we have one of those special days. We have a service academy under Air Force
True.
Army under 40.5. I'm gonna keep playing them until they don't. I'm gonna keep playing them until they don't hit.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think it's like what 23. The last 26 have gone under.
Yeah, this one's 40.5 too. It's a
Just
big number, which kind of makes me
auto.
nervous.
And Air Force like is bad now too, so that feels right.
Yeah,
To just bet on them being bad in a game like this.
yeah, I agree. But I'm not too stressed out about it. I think I think that's just going to be a light play. I got a pretty light board this week. I'm not betting on Georgia. I have enough at stake with that game already. But the well that I am going back to, we're going back to Kansas State. We already talked about it against Texas. I got money line. I got Missouri +2. I like Mizzou this week.
Yeah, so I think Mizzou might be one of my favorite picks of the week. Just because when you look at the market in general, you're getting Kentucky, the public loves Kentucky, and the money's moved Missouri's way. The numbers moved Missouri's way. So I like the Tigers at home. Kentucky's missing a few guys to injury. I think they're missing their starting linebackers. One of the running backs is missing. So they're dealing with some health problems. And Missouri's on their way up, really. The last 5 games, they've played really well. 3 of them have been losses, but we remember the Georgia game, which was close. They've played these teams very well, so they're trending in the right direction. And to quote Chase on what he said about Texas A&M, might have been last week, if anybody in that locker room gives a shit about Elijah Drinkwitz, then they will play hard and they will win this game. So the numbers moved down to, I think it's 1 now. So I got Missouri too. I think they probably win the game outright.
Yeah, and Missouri, they have really not been that bad this year. They gave Florida hell in the swamp. They're not a bad team. And I think Kentucky's trending in the wrong direction. I don't know if you want to call this a look-ahead spot, but they do have Georgia next. No, that's 2 weeks. Never mind. Forget that. So, yeah, I think it's just going to be an interesting game. I am all over Missouri, though. I love what Eli Drinkowitz has got going on over there. I never thought that sentence would ever come out of my mouth. But they play hard. And I think they can still win this week. They're frisky. It's a good word.
Their run defense all of a sudden has become like extremely elite. Like their run defense is one of the best in the country. I mean, good luck running on them. I don't know how that happened. We saw Georgia struggled mightily to move the ball on the ground against them, so that's something to look at.
Definitely. All right, and then what else did we already talked about? I got James Madison +9 against Louisville. I think that's a good spot because Louisville's not getting 6 turnovers again.
Yeah, for sure. Also, James Madison, their last loss to Marshall, their starting quarterback, who's actually been really good, warmed up but didn't play. I think there was a bit of a lingering injury there, so didn't play that game. They had their bye week, and then this week they closed off their practices to the media. I guess because they don't want the quarterback situation to leak out. But all the signs are that this guy's going to play, and this line's moved way down from 9.5 to I think 7 or 7.5. So it's looking like he's going to play. I think James Madison can win the game. Period. I'm looking for them on the money line a little bit, but I love James Madison.
Yeah. And even though I swore them off, I will be betting LSU +14 at home against Alabama. I'm probably going to look like a fool. And you know what? They've made a fool of me plenty of times. I'll take my anger out on Chase. I'll cuss him out on the show next week. But I am going to take LSU. I got 14 points, and it's already dropped a little bit. So home dog, man. Home dogs.
Yeah, I just worried that everybody's betting LSU. It's like Tennessee. I mean, everybody loves LSU. I'm not gonna bet Alabama. I may tease them if I can put them in a 10-point teaser and maybe get a -3, something like that. But yeah, it's gonna be a stay away for me for right now.
It should be for me, but I'm an idiot. I got a couple quarter bets. I got Oregon -7 first quarter against Colorado and Michigan -6.5 first quarter against Rutgers. Those feel pretty simple. Pretty self-explanatory. And I am taking Clemson -4 against Notre Dame. I can never seem to bet. Well, actually, no, that's not true. Notre Dame's giving me problems. This is a rat line, and I'm kind of hoping I jinx myself into a Clemson loss, but I don't think it's going to happen. And if that doesn't happen, I don't see Notre Dame keeping it within 3.
Well, so that's the weird thing is I was trying to predict it a few weeks ago, so I like Notre Dame against Syracuse, and then my thought was the public's going to like Notre Dame against Clemson. You take Clemson, and it's kind of reverse. The public loves Clemson. The fact that this is only 3.5 is weird enough. I kind of feel like it should be Clemson -7. So the public's all over Clemson, and the sharps like the Irish, and so I will take the Irish. I don't love the game. It's just going to be me following the spot and the sharps. So I'll take Notre Dame +4. It would be really great if Clemson could lose, though. I would love it.
That's just kind of how my brain works, because if they don't cover, which I'll be pissed if they only win by 3 or something, but if they don't cover, it's like, oh man, what a shame. Clemson lost. And if they do,
then we get to roast them.
More than 4. Exactly. And the last one I have, I don't even remember placing this, but apparently I liked it. Wake Forest and NC State under 54. Without Devin Leary, NC State's offense has been bad. And I had to pick an under for the show this week, so that was one that I had.
It makes sense.
Besides those Service Academy, I didn't know we had that on the radar. But
well, I feel like I probably would bet NC State in this game because it is so ugly. The public loves Wake Forest. And the line's kind of been all over the place. I think it was at 3. It went up to 5. Now it's 4.5. 4.5. So it's weird. I don't know. I already have too much at stake. We need NC State to pull a win out there. It would be kind of weird. They just look so bad without Leary. They look so bad.
Yeah.
Even last week against
they weren't exactly world beaters before that.
Yeah.
So I got 9 right now. I may throw another 1 or 2 in there. I don't know. What else do you got?
We touched on Kansas State at the very beginning, but yeah, I do like Kansas State. That's another one where the line's kind of been all over the place, but there's just no reason, and it might be a square pick, which is fine, but there's just no reason.
I've seen nothing out of Texas.
No.
They should be the 3-point favorites, and then I would say, okay, that might be a little bit of a trap line, but it just I can't wrap my mind around it.
And why were people so quick to jump on Texas? The public, they were so quick to jump on Texas this week. Didn't make any sense to me. It could be I guess you could say, is it a letdown spot for Kansas State off of a blowout win against a top 10 team? I mean, it could be, but do you have a letdown spot against Texas when you're Kansas State and you're as good as you are right now? Kansas State, it's not gonna be a letdown spot. I don't think so.
I don't.
There's just no reason.
If anything, if anything, I would say, like, if this was Texas coming off a 48-0 win against Oklahoma State, I would say that, yeah, that's a big letdown
Right.
spot. But Kansas State's not. I mean, they're not a huge brand. I don't get that one either, and I'm taking Kansas State.
Yeah,
I'm riding with
they
my
just kind of
guys.
have to. They've been good to us, and I'm actually going to stay in Kansas, and I will take the Jayhawks. I'll fade Oklahoma State again because Kansas 5-0, now they're 5-3. They kind of are they going to win again and get the bowl eligibility? I still think Oklahoma State might be a little bit overvalued, just a little bit. And for this to open at 3, it's now a pick. It's now even. So that tells you where the sharps are because the public likes Oklahoma State. So give me the Jayhawks. The Oklahoma State defense just cannot stop anybody. And we called that so perfectly last week with Kansas State because all we talked about was Kansas State will get explosive plays. Kansas State will move the ball at will. And Kansas is going to do the exact same thing. I don't care if Daniels plays. He might play. He might not at quarterback. So I don't know. I don't really care. They'll be able to move the ball, and they're going to win. And Kansas is going to a bowl game.
Yeah. Do you have any other ones? Because we're going to have to talk about the game. I'm not betting on it, but we do need to talk about it.
Last one I have would be, let's see. This is another weird one. I bet it very, very small is Indiana plus 14, only because they're against Penn State, only because it just doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure why Penn State isn't favored by 19 in this spot. Indiana plays Ohio State next week. You could say, they're looking ahead a little bit to Ohio State, but Penn State is ranked and the public is just all over Penn State, 95%. So it's just weird. I just have to. So I have no reason for it other than that. So 2 touchdowns with the Hoosiers. Yep. But yeah, let's talk about the game.
So one thing that does give me confidence about Georgia, and I've been saying this all week, and I'm going to keep saying it. Surely to God, Vegas is not going to lose their ass a second time on Tennessee, right? Because they already did against Alabama.
Yeah.
And this line at 8.5, it does make me feel good. If this was like a 2.5, I'd be like, okay, like it's probably
that's what I'm saying. If Georgia was a 2-point favorite, I'd be so scared. And they put it at 8. Though. I love it.
We'll have to see. Like I said, Vegas was built on winners, and so that does make me feel a little better. And oh my God, Tennessee is getting all of the public bets, all of the public money, and the sharps are on Georgia. So that makes me feel good.
Yeah, it may sound like a biased thing, but it's really not. Georgia's the bet in this game. If you were going to bet it and you wanted to play the smart side, it's Georgia because the sharps like Georgia, even though it's dropped. Because that's how much public's on Tennessee. I mean, that's just the case. It is. It's fair to say this is at least, at the very least, the biggest Georgia home game of our lifetime. Yeah, probably ever.
I mean, it's number one coming to town.
So, and we have, you look at the other big games that we've played in the past.
I need a repeat of the Arkansas game.
The Arkansas game would be terrific. I mean, you look at some of the other games though, it's like maybe our expectations aren't very high. Like you think about 2008 when Alabama came in there and kicked our ass. You think about 2013 where we beat LSU. All those teams were ranked.
Bama kicked our ass.
Yeah, Bama game, exactly. All those teams were ranked highly, but we didn't have that championship pedigree yet. And now we do. The stakes are higher for this game. So I'm expecting the atmosphere to be awesome.
People are saying, Sanford Stadium's nothing. Like, it was louder than the Penn
It's all the Tennessee fans saying that. All the Tennessee fans. Yeah. So it's the Arkansas game last year was underrated loud game.
3 false starts on the first drive.
Yeah, I put it up there with some of the highest ones. So I think the atmosphere is going to be insane. I'm so excited.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about all I got. Pretty light this week. If we add anything, we'll bring it up. But yeah, I have enough riding emotionally on Saturday, so I don't need to wager that much money to get my juices flowing, I guess you could say. Do I even have any? Do I have any 3:30 games? No, that's hilarious. I have one 3:30 game, and it's Oregon -7 first quarter, so I don't have to sweat anything out during the game.
Hey, I would say something I was thinking about. Think about it from a betting perspective, not a biased perspective. Obviously, you've got to think: is Tennessee plus 3.5 first quarter? Is that something that I would bet? I just think about we have a tendency a little bit to get out to slow starts. And we even did last year, if you think back to some of the games, where we kind of feel teams out the first drive. I want to say last year at Jordan-Hare, Auburn, went down. I'm pretty sure they scored. Think about the Missouri game this year, we were slow. Even last week at Florida, it took us a minute to kind of get going.
Yeah.
And Tennessee strikes fast, and I just wonder if there's a world where maybe Tennessee scores first and you can get out with a first quarter bet, which would suck.
Plus,
we could also bet it though, and if we lose the bet, that means Georgia's taking care of business.
The emotional hedge. In
yeah.
2020 when we played Florida, I put like $200 on Florida to win, and I felt a little better after we got our asses kicked. So
yeah, so I mean it's something to look at, but
I don't know. Larson will both be in the building for the game though, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm hyped, man. I'm really hyped. Stetson's gotta just don't turn the ball over, and we'll be good.
Yeah. A bunch of people in my work, they aren't really college football fans, and I've been trying to explain to them that's like the only thing I can think about right now.
Yeah, it's literally taking up the whole week. I'm leaving today. I'm heading down there today, so I'll be there.
I just got back, so yeah, I'll of course me and Larson will be on the town. If any of our loyal fans of the Lock Show
come on
want to come say, yeah, come hang out.
Come on.
But yeah, that's about all I got. We appreciate y'all tuning in as always. We'll be back Monday with a recap. We'll try to be more on a more normal schedule than we've been. I won't be out of town, and we'll be able to get this stuff done. But yeah, thank you guys. We appreciate y'all tuning in as always. You see the numbers on the screen. I say it every week. Let's win some money.